Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. Quick video to help you out with dealing with debt collectors. If you want more information on this, please watch my video that I had posted that said portfolio recovery made it easier for you to be able to beat or to fight back against debt collectors. One of the things that debt collectors have always been getting away with, it's made it easy for them to be able to, number one, send out debt collection letters without having all of the information, was that they were under the guidance of the Supreme Court, which stated that all they had to do was have two statements, a little bit about your personal data, name, addresses, social security number, or last four social security number, about 3 data points, and then they were able to utilize that to be able to try to contact you to collect on that debt. Well, the CFPB just had an update that has made it a lot harder on debt collectors, and it was based on a lawsuit with Portfolio Recovery Associates. In this video, I don't have enough time to go into exactly what that whole lawsuit was about, but I'm going to give you some nuggets on what you can utilize to stop debt collectors from coming after you, even if they purchased a debt and they have most of the documents to come after you for. And again, I'm not about running away from debt. It's about, if a debt collector buys your debt, just like anyone else, would have to prove that you have to pay that company the money for that debt, and they have a responsibility to maintain, to number one, acquire and maintain all of the documents if you request those documents to prove how much or if you have to pay that debt collector. So what I'm going to focus on in this video is I'm going to focus on two things. For the account level documentation, on what they have to prove for the account level documentation, and then I'm also going to talk about the disputing outside of the 30-day validation period, which is when you get that dunning letter from debt collectors, you have 30 days to dispute any or all of it. But most people are disputing outside of that 30 days. But here's the problem, and this is what they've been getting away with when it comes to disputing outside of the 30-day period, is that they haven't been responding, and it's because when you don't respond, you're actually saying, yes, you do owe that debt. So that's why it's very important, if you receive a letter from a debt collector, you can read it. It looks like a bill, but what you need to do is you need to respond to that letter. Now, I'm going to give you some information here on what you can include in that, and I'm also going to give you information on how you can just get the letters. I've already made them for you, so you don't even have to worry about that. So disputing outside the 30-day validation period, and I've talked about this in many videos, and now it seems that I'm getting validation from outside sources that you should trust with information. But I've always said that attorneys do not review debt collection letters. And I've always said that when you are disputing a debt collection, one of the things that you should request is if an attorney reviewed the letter. Now, I'm going to read you something directly from the CFPB. This is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, what they stated. They said that when consumers disputed debts outside of the 30-day validation period, debt buyers allegedly made consumers prove they did not owe the debt and did not obtain or review account documentation to invest the disputes, nor did the debt buyer inform their attorneys if accounts have been disputed. So basically, let me break that down for you. It sounded a little bit confusing. Basically, what it's stating is that none of the attorneys are never reviewing these accounts that are being sent out to be collected on. They're just hoping that people don't know their rights. They're just hoping that people will pay it. And then if it does go to a lawsuit, that's when they're going to review it. Now, you might be saying, well, Steve, if I ask for an attorney review, won't that just accelerate them taking me to court? No, because that attorney, from what I'm going to tell you in a second, has an obligation to get all of the information. And part of that information is to get the account level documentation. Now, with this new ruling by the CFPB with the Portfolio Recovery Associates lawsuit, and what they put into action for all debt collectors is that they have to get what's considered account level documentation. Now, before with the Supreme Court, all they had to have was two statements. That's all they had to have. And they could actually go to court with just those two statements. But now with the account level documentation, debt collectors must provide you, and I'm going to get the exact, it has debt collectors, hold on one second. All right, I don't know why I lost my train of thought on that, but they must provide 12 to 18 months of account statements, as well as any terms and conditions that apply to the account that's sold. Now, with this terms and conditions, I've talked about this with Credit One Bank, and there's some other banks, credit card companies that sell debt, and other creditors that sell debt to third-party debt collectors, is that in their terms of service when they sell that debt, the reason why this was put into the CFPB is because what they've had a problem with in the past is that some of these debt collectors were selling it to other debt collectors, and those debt collectors kind of went a little bit out of bounds with what they were doing with their collection practices, and it rolled back uphill to the original creditor. So what they've put in their terms and conditions is that if we sell it to you, you cannot sell it to anyone else. If you decide that you want to sell it to someone else, you have to give it back to us. And just, I don't know what happens after that, if they get a refund or something, I don't know. But they have to give it back, because those debt collectors, the original creditor could be on the hook for a lot more than what they've got for the pennies on the dollar that they sold those debts for. So these are two golden nuggets that you can utilize in an easy to form and easy to craft debt collection letter, debt collection response letter, validation letter to a debt collector to be able to stop them from coming after you for a debt that they've purchased. Now, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Use the one that's appropriate for your specific situation, and it has some of this information that I just talked about in this video. These letters have saved people time, money, and frustration. They are very good. When they get these letters, they don't think of it as a template, because they're going to be focusing on the information that you are asking them about, and they're going to be like, we didn't expect you to even know. All right, thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.